Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about another scenario-based interview question. The question is, if you have two measures, one measure created with filter and other measure created without filter, what would be the difference between those two measures? That's the question. So the interviewer is asking you to create two measures here, one measure with filter and another measure without filter, and he is asking you the difference between those two measures. Now let's get into my laptop and see what the difference between these two measures would be.
This is a sample report and it has the main data sets as customer and sales. Okay. The question we have is create a measure with filter and without filter and compare the results of those two. And what's the difference between those two measures is the question, right? So let's create one measure where I'll be filtering sales amount for customer ID 1. And customer ID 1 is Bindu, right? So let's create a measure for that. I'm creating a measure, clicking on new measure here. So the first measure I'm creating without filter function. Okay, so without filter, and I want to calculate sum of amount from customer table where name is Bindu. Okay, so this is the measure I created without filter. I have this now, so let's bring this measure. I'll have a card here. Okay, so if you see the data for customer ID 1 Bindu, the amount is 10 plus 20, it's 30. So here we have the result as 30, that's fine. And now let's create another measure. Let's go to new measure, and this time we'll create this measure with filter. I'll name this measure as with filter. Okay, and here I'm calculating sum of amount, sales amount, and this time I'm using filter here. I'm filtering customer table, right? The table I'm filtering is customer, and the column I'm filtering is name column from customer table, and the value is Bindu. Okay, so here I'm just using the filter function here. So for filter function you need to give the data set that you want to filter and then the column. So here customer is the table that I want the filter to be applied on, and the column is name and the value is Bindu. So this is without filter. So this is with filter. Okay, so this measure is also created, and now let's bring this measure also. I'll have a card here too. So with filter and without filter we have the same value. So what's the difference? You will see the difference when you get a slicer. When you change the values in customer table, then you see the difference. So let's bring the slicer here, and in this slicer get the name or ID, anything you want. So if you click on Bindu, because both are filtered based on the value Bindu, they show the same value here. They show the sale amount is 30. Now let's change the slicer to Isha. See, without filter the value still remains 30, but with filter the measure is showing blank because the filter is applied at the table level here. So when you change the values in the filter, this gets affected. And without filter, because this got nothing to do with any values in the table, whatever you choose, whatever value you choose in the table, it gives the same value 30 because the filter is not applied at the table level. So it's always constant. This value doesn't change. So that's the difference. That's the main difference between the measure created with filter and without filter.
So this is how you create the measures and you show the difference between these two measures. So the main difference you saw is when you have filter function, it will be on a table level, whereas without filter, the measure would be, the value would be static because it is not at the table level. That's the main difference. And there is one more difference which impacts the performance of the report. The filter function, it impacts the performance a lot. It slows down the report. So you need to use this filter function only when there is a need. If there's no need to use filter function, then it is better to avoid using this filter function bit because it is going to impact the performance of it. If it is a need, if you have to filter something at the table level, then obviously you have to use it. But if there is no need, try to avoid using the filter function. I hope this is clear. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe and see you in the next video.